This is Texans TV.
The combine's over and the Texans are looking to the draft. Plus, we go back to 2019 with first-round pick Tytus Howard. Texans 360 is now.
Rock and roll, touchdown, Texans. Luke with the catch. Oh my goodness.
I know we're ready. I think you're ready. So let's do some Texans 360. Drew Dougherty, my good pal Deepi Sidhu. We have quite a show, Deepi. We've got the rodeo, we've got a barbecue, we've got the military, we've got Titus Howard, and a really good story. Plus, we're looking back at some special teams, but we start with some news of the week. It's kind of a quiet time in between the combine and the start of free agency. That's where we sit right now. We heard about Mike Adams, the safety who came here in the middle of the season and helped the Texans out for a bit, calls it a career after 16 seasons in the NFL. And, that's a pretty darn good lifetime in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he announced it on NFL Network, but I was watching Twitter throughout the day, and so many of his former teams congratulating him and former teammates and coaches on such an accomplished career, and I'm glad that he got to end it the way that he did. He didn't go out on injury. He got to play his final season. He sort of talked about how it's been tough as a veteran. You don't get signed early in the offseason. Sometimes the season gets underway, and then you join a team. And I can imagine that gets harder and harder because you want to know where you are. You want that stability. Plus, like you said, 16 years in the NFL. He's ready to sort of move on and start the next chapter. I think he's going to have a ton of options. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
He was great on NFL Network. I thought he could be an analyst if he wanted to, too. So it was great while it lasted, but looking forward to see what's next.
Yes, we salute you, Mike Adams. I'm never going to call you old because I'm 4 years older than you. I always called you young Mike. They called him Pops. You're young Mike to me, Mike Adams. But, you bring up he didn't sign in the typical free agency period, which, hey, that's starting in about a week or two. And the Texans, you figure, will be players in free agency. Don't know how soon, but last year they waited a little bit, and they got guys like Deshaun Gibson. They got guys like Jaleel Addae, and they really helped this team out. Darren Fells is another one, Bradley Roby. So keep that in mind, Texans fans, when the free agency signings start happening. Know that there's still some good value and good players that might not go off the board right at the start.
Yeah, and a lot of the Texans players are under contracts that will expire when the new league year starts. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see which of their players they bring back and which of them they're going to lose to the free agent market. I know DJ Reader is a guy that a lot of people have their eye on because he's going to command a lot of money, perhaps. But the Texans still have to lock up a lot of their own players. So there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving chips to free agency this year. And without a first-round pick, I think it might be busy.
Yes, it will be busy. And one guy who's not going anywhere is Deshaun Watson, and we're thankful for that. Yes. But he went a lot of places last offseason, so this is his tour of the globe.
You're on the right side. He's driving the left. So you need to put your clutch in and put it in first gear.
I heard that you somewhere drove on the wrong side of the road.
Tried to. The hard part was the stick shift. I'm not real good with the stick shift.
Oh.
Not real good or don't know how?
I know how,
okay.
We're on the left side of the road. It was too much going on at once. And I probably got maybe 2 yards.
Start going for Dude, you're just too abrupt.
More stressful, seeing a huge DN coming after you or driving on the wrong side of the road?
Driving on the wrong side.
In only his second NFL offseason, Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson circumnavigated the globe with his close friend and quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, visiting 6 countries and traveling over 35,000 miles.
At what point do you think you realized that you wanted to see the world?
Since I was little, I used to always watch TV with my mom. Our circumstances at the time, we wouldn't be able to. But whenever I had that time and the opportunity, I was going to be able to take advantage of it. I always wanted to travel. Football allowed me to do that.
It's allowed you to do a lot of traveling recently. So take me through this journey.
So we went to London. London was awesome. That was my first time there. This historic stadium right here, I mean, this is incredible. So many legends, so many big-time games. being 23 and having the opportunity to do this and go around the world. I thought it'd be like towards the end of my career. My life is definitely a movie.
What it do is look Austria.
And of course we went to Austria. That's fire! We took a helicopter from Austria, landed on the top of this like snow mountain in Italy, popped a champagne bottle, watched the people ski. And then we went from there straight to Venice. So we got off the helicopter, right onto the boat, Venice, Italy, and that was pretty dope. I would never thought I would be in a place like this before. I'm in Venice, man. I'm in Venice, Italy. Went to Milan and had a great 4 days.
Allora, put your hands here, okay?
You know how it works, right?
Yeah, okay. Okay, like this.
But is this automatic where it's changed by itself, or you want me to change it?
You change.
Oh, all right.
He doesn't scream someone who's got a whole bunch of skills behind a wheel, and that also is the case back home in Houston. He really cannot drive. Oh my God, he basically came to a halt. You come to a racetrack to do this?
Egypt was awesome. Around the camels in the desert.
Were you standing up on a camel?
I was.
That doesn't sound safe either.
It wasn't. I was kind of paranoid myself, but they didn't move at all. From there, we went to Beijing to Shanghai. Yeah, it was dope. It was awesome. Second part of the trip, we went to Israel. Go to Jerusalem and the temple. We go tubing in the Sea of Galilee. This is definitely a place that I would recommend people to check out.
What was an experience that stood out to you?
Today I'm going to baptize you into a new season in your life.
I was blessed to get baptized in the Jordan River. Woo! It was one of the best moving experiences I ever felt and was a part of.
I send them now in your power. Amen.
It was powerful. I'm getting chills thinking about it now.
Thank you.
I wanted to do it, and it was awesome. You put your hands right there?
Yeah.
All right, down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just throw. Yeah.
Throughout the journey, Deshaun kept a football close. It was his ticket out of small-town Georgia and a passport to a world he'd only imagined.
So you could throw a Hail Mary pass to the facade of the Duomo.
Okay.
That would be the ultimate Hail Mary.
Nine, go.
Deshaun back to pass. Looking, pump fake. He's got his man. Oh! Incompleto.
You're supposed to break out. Don't. This. That. It's up. How far is that?
It's like 50 yards. I can definitely make that.
There's no way.
Jumping in the bucket.
I'm not sure if anybody's attempted this throw yet at the Great Wall. A little crowd. I hope we don't hit any kids, any babies, anything like that.
We're about to make a throw from the wall, on top of the tower, down. Quincy. It looks close, but it's not close. And then we got a little wind factor, so the wind is going to the...
Time is now. Place is now. Ah! You see that? Good job.
Yep.
We got the good old All-American route. We got the basic from number 2 and number 1's gonna run a big post. They got 2 safeties. They're actually in quarters. That quarter safety is gonna take the basic, and we're gonna hit the post over the top. Let's go. Good 18, gonna set. Here it is, there it is. Nice. Oh! We threw verticals, we did our benders. We got a lot done today, and I'm proud of the work we put in.
For a kid from Gainesville, how would you describe what it was like to see some of these places?
It was amazing. I mean, you can't really put it in words. You just try to see it as much as I can, do as much as I can, and try to put myself in the people that were living in those countries' shoes. That's the reason why I want to go on these trips and be able to express and share my advice on football. If I can go and I have the time, I'm trying to do it all. See as much as I can in the short amount of time I have.
Global in the offseason, he was global in season because the Texans went to London and he flourished. That was one of his best games of the year, one of the best Texans games of the year. Had the Jordan-like almost touchdown, had some nice touchdown passes, some nice runs. It was a fun season from Deshaun Watson, and it looked like another step was taken by him in his professional career.
Yeah, I had a chance to catch up with him at the Pro Bowl. I did ask him where he was going to go to this offseason. He rattled off a number of countries, as I'm sure he'll be visiting, because we love to follow him on
We've
Instagram.
seen Paris, we've seen Madrid. He's already been there so far.
Yeah, it's the offseason's underway for Deshaun Watson, but he definitely talked about how, just every year to year, we hear this every year, his understanding of knowledge of defenses. The more he sees, the more information that he has, and just his comfort level in this offense. And now with the offensive line coming together, because you think about what this offense looked like in the offseason versus what it looked like in week one. Different backs, different O-line, different receivers. Kenny Stills jumped in there, obviously, in week one and beyond. So I think that chemistry they'll have the whole offseason to work on it. I'm excited to see, what leaps and jumps he makes this year.
Well, think about it. This time a year ago, 3 of the guys who started up front for you on the offensive line weren't here.
They were not here, yeah.
2 of them had just got done with the combine. One of them was doing his offseason in Miami and Laramie Tunsil. So things changed drastically in that regard. And it's fun to think about what might be in 2020. Well, we still don't know. All right, we're getting set for another segment of Texans 360 because we're reliving the 2019 first-round pick Titus Howard's first day in Houston. Stay with us.
I do love that part of the process where you get to know Titus Howard. You've got Titus Howard in the room, and you get to really know him. We had him just come out and talk to us about, how are you going to reach this 3 technique? What's your footwork like? And so Timmy Kelly was the 3 technique. And so he thought that we meant like block Tim Kelly. And there's not that much space. So there's maybe, let's just call it 10 feet from where Tim was the 3 technique. And so I actually was looking for a whistle. We randomly had a whistle. So I picked up the whistle and I blew it because Titus Howard was about to put Timmy Kelly through the bay window.
Got to make this team.
I have never seen anything like it. I'm like, whoa, stop. Blow the whistle. I mean, but that was the meeting where we knew we had a guy that was going to be a great Texan.
If I gained 2 inches and 100 pounds in 4 years, I would not look as good as Tytus Howard does. I'm Drew Dougherty, your Deepi Sidhu.
Me neither.
This is Texans 360 here at the Arctic Studios, and what a story by Tytus Howard. It's quite a way to make a first impression. I don't think any of my first interviews went sort of the way Tytus Howard's did.
Yeah, I had a chance to sit down with him when he arrived here in Houston after the draft, and what a likable guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just so likable. I could totally see why 24 out of the 32 teams wanted to bring him in for a visit.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the Houston Texans got him, because when you meet him, he's accomplished so much in his career at Alabama State, having to make the transition. And like you said, he gained all that weight just to play on the offensive line, and chicken spaghetti and his mom's baking. So don't eat that if you don't want to gain 100 pounds.
So nice guy, really cool story, but most importantly of all, he's a good player.
Yeah,
he helped make this
too.
Texans team better, made the offensive line a lot better. But let's go back about a year to his first day in Houston. It was the day after he'd been drafted in the first round by the Texans.
This is an exciting day for us here in Houston. When we think about Titus Howard, we think, first of all, smart, tough, dependable. Titus was a 3-year starter at Alabama State, was a 3-year captain. Titus was very impressive to us from the day we met him.
It's an honor as well from him, from our hometown, and then him being from an HBCU, and he's just broken records, especially at his school alone. Yeah, so it's just all just a blessing, and we are so proud.
I just love the city of Houston. We played up here a couple times, and actually me and my fiance, we always talk about, hey, if there's any team who I could pick and choose, it would be Houston. And then we were just talking about it before the draft. I told all my friends, they were like, what team you think will pick you? I was like, it will be Houston that picked me.
It always started with respect. Growing up, my grandmother, my mother always instilled in me, to be respectful and, go after everything I wanted to be. And just growing up and just watching them be the person, the people they are, it just helped me, just motivated me to, be better. I got a great fiance who's always on me. She keep me, humble, she keep me level. So I got to credit her for, being helping me to be the person I am. I was so happy, to be in that moment and have my family experience that with me. And I looked at my fiance, I was like, dang, I feel like I'm dreaming, still. Came in here today and just prepared, just ready to come back and, just get to work, be the best teammate I can be, and just, help this team win.
When we return, we're looking back at the top special teams plays from 2019. It's all next on Texans 360. It's Texans 360. We're happy that you're watching. Drew, Deepi, and let's talk some special teams. You heard the news reports this week about John Weeks, the long snapper, coming back for another season. I'm happy about that.
I know you are.
The longest tenured Texan. I know you're happy too. But he's been automatic in his time, over a decade now with the Texans. A very, very valuable member of a special teams unit that the last 2 years has been so much better than it had been really for the last 10, 15 before that. So one of the highlights last year was what A.J. Moore and the coverage units were able to do. They basically pinned opponents back, at around their 20-yard line, which is one of the best spots in the league. He led the team in special teams tackles again this year after doing it as an undrafted rookie in 2018.
Yeah, no surprise there. We saw him in training camp. It seemed like every time there was a big play made, it was A.J. Moore.
Yeah.
And, the Texans have invested heavily in some of these special teams players that they want to specialize in special teams and take pride in it. You see that sort of coming together under Brad Seeley and Tracy Smith. And so I think they want to keep that core together, just like many teams want to keep their offense and their defense together. I think the Texans are attacking special teams as a very important unit as well. They're not just taking guys that, we just want to play, young players at special teams. They want to accomplish guys because you have to be smart and obviously field position, as we saw in many, many games, can win or lose you games, and the Texans dominated on that side of the ball.
And having a good kicker that can make clutch field goals when you need it, that helps too. And the Texans had that in Kaimi Fairbairn. He struggled a little bit in the early part of the season, but then he was nails basically down the stretch. And on top of all that, he just got married in the offseason. So congrats to you, Kaimi Fairbairn. You want to look back at some good plays from 2019?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's check out some of the best from special teams last fall.
45-yard kick left hash mark. Texans loading up on the line. Here's the snap. Here's the kick. It's blocked. It's loose. And A.J. Moore falls on it back inside the 22-yard line. The Texans not only make the stop, they block the field goal. Weeks will snap it. On target, here's Anger, letting it fly.
Perfect.
Here's Roberts tracking right, and the ball bounces into the goal line area, and it's held up inside the 5. They did the job. That worked out perfectly.
And then they're going to be able to pin it inside the 5. Hey, Brian Angers had a great first season punting for the Texans, and he comes up big there with a 57-yarder.
Snap on target, and the Texans block it. It's loose at the 10-yard line. Lottie to the right side, the 5. He's in! Touchdown, Houston! A special teams score! Punting, Irvin tracking forward, and he makes the catch. He's blasted immediately by A.J. Moore. Irvin did well to hang on to it.
Yes, he did.
What coverage by this special teams unit. 54-yard field goal attempt for Matt Gay of the Buccaneers. Left hash mark. Pinion will hold. The snap is down. The kick is on the way. It's blocked. And it scoots off to the side picked up by Cunningham.
I think it's Blackson again, Mark.
It was blocked by Angelo Blackson, who blocked last week's kick in Tennessee to earn him the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week award.
Coming up, the rodeo's in town, and that means good barbecue. Texans 360 rolls on. Texans 360 is presented by Tide, America's #1 laundry detergent.
We want to make it clear from the time the visiting team comes out, you're not just playing 53 today.
The home field advantage is extremely important, and we're looking forward to having a loud crowd to help us out.
Wouldn't have a job were it not for you guys as fans. Y'all are the best fans around. I know I speak for you when we love seeing you at our radio shows on Tuesday nights. We love seeing you on game day, whether it's here in the building, whether it's on the road. It's just fun rubbing elbows with our great Texans fans.
I think one of my favorite moments was in London.
Yeah.
We were doing the radio show, and that pub was filled with Texans fans.
In the stadium, too. I know.
In the stadium. It was
banana.
great.
I mean, they traveled well. Not a surprise. You know what else is not a surprise? The Texans getting involved with the military because, hey, we really appreciate everything they do to keep us safe. So Kahale Waring, Max Sharping were recently out at the Rodeo doing a barbecue with some special folks from the military.
So we're at the Houston Rodeo today, meeting and greeting some servicemen and women, and just kind of having a good time.
It was really great to meet all these different people and get to hear about them and their stories.
I just want to give a special shout out to my cousin Rob. He's currently in the military, so coming out to support these servicemen and women is really near and dear to my heart. Without them, we wouldn't be able to play the sport we love, so thank you to all of you out there.
That's it for this week's Texans 360. We appreciate you watching. If you liked what you saw, there's so much more of it at HoustonTexans.com on the mobile app. So get your QR code out. That will make things so much better because QR codes make everything better, right, DP?
I mean, that's just the quote of the day, Drew.
Oh, well.
QR codes are the
Thanks
best.
so much. And thank you, DP, for coming on. We will have you back again because you did a great job.
I appreciate it.
Not
my first rodeo.
Boom! I love it. All right. Joe Palace, thank you. Tyler Marcotte, thank you. Tyler Sutter, thank you. And the rest of the good guys and gals making this show happen. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.